Yeah, welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. What a glorious morning. I'm Ethan Van Sciver, 26-year veteran of the comic book industry, world's most charming, elegant, eloquent, and yet humble man, great big Star Wars fan, trusted member of the media. Now, it looks like Disney Plus is going to drop a new episode of The Mandalorian every Friday at around 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or a little after that. I sat there at 3 a.m. like refreshing it. 3:08, it finally shows up, and I rejoice. I thought I had gotten the day wrong or something. But indeed, there was episode 3 of The Mandalorian, and I haven't been this happy with Star Wars since I got that Jabba the Hutt sideshow toy. Remember that? Little last year? That was terrific. That made me happy with Star Wars. This is making me happy with Star Wars too, and I'm really thrilled that we're going to get 5 more episodes of this before J.J. Abrams' horrific Star Wars Episode 9, and I have to look at Rey again. I have to look at Kylo Ren and Rey making eyes at each other. It's going to be horrible. It's not even done yet. I mean, J.J. Abrams still at this point is not finished putting Star Wars Rise of Skywalker together yet. He's got a few more weeks to get it done before it hits the theaters. Officially December 19th. It's probably even sooner than that. They're probably going to be more earlier showings for people who are cool and have press passes and things like that. Media badges. I get to see it on the 19th at 6 p.m. But in the meantime, and that's going to be horrible. It's going to be a weird experience, and I'm kind of dreading it. But I am loving The Mandalorian. Loving it. So, episode 3, was it as good as 1 and 2? No, but it was still really good. It was great. It was kind of an extended action sequence, a pivot point in the series. Now, up till now, this fellow who they're calling Mando, that's kind of weird. Kind of weird to call him Mando, short for Mandalorian, especially since we meet so many other Mandalorians in this episode. Tons of them. Tons of Mandalorians. Mando he's got his little baby Yoda. They're calling him the child. And he's being told by Grieve Karga, who is played by Carl, what's his name? He's got to go take the Yoda, the baby Yoda, over to the people who kind of hired him. Just deliver it straight to them. And he's got questions. He's already kind of becoming fond of Baby Yoda a little bit. He likes Baby Yoda. He likes the child. But he's going to go do it anyway because that's the code. That's the Mandalorian code there. Or a bounty hunter code. You don't ask questions. You just drop off. You do your job. You collect your money, and you walk away and you forget about it. So he takes Baby Yoda over to these people. That little Jabba the Hutt. Droid. Remember the droid that popped out of Jabba's palace? The little kind of eye on a stalk that comes out. It lets him in, and he delivers the baby Yoda to the people who asked him to get him. And he says, what are you going to do? What's going to happen to the baby Yoda? And they say, hey, don't ask questions. It's none of your business. Stormtroopers kind of handle baby Yoda roughly. And he kind of takes his money and leaves. That's it. Goes to see Grieve. Oh, actually, he goes to see Grieve and he asks the question one more time. What are they going to do with him? And it's none of his business. But he's concerned, and he can't get Baby Yoda off his mind. He gets back on his ship. Now, as he was delivering Baby Yoda, see this knob right here? Baby Yoda got out of his crib, came over, unscrewed the top of this knob, and started to sort of suck on it like it was a toy, like it was like babies do. He had to take it away from him, put it back up here on the dashboard. As he gets in his ship, he remembers he's just like, this thing was filled with so many kind of realistic moments that if you're a parent, they'll kind of tug at the heartstrings. He looks down and he sees that the knob is still off of the switch here, and that makes him think about the baby, and he decides, hell with it, I'm gonna go rescue the baby. I'm gonna go get the baby. I don't trust these guys. Before that, though, He takes his money, he takes his payment, which is kind of metal bars that get melted down into new armor, and he's talking to other Mandalorians. He's talking to the armorer, and he's talking to these heavy artillery guys, heavy artillery Mandalorians. He has a little scuffle with one of them. Now they want to give him a signet for fighting that rhino, that woolly rhino, and he has to admit, he says, "Look, I don't think I deserve it because I had help from an enemy." Now that's the weird thing that I don't really understand yet, and I'm looking forward to. That was startling. It's like, well, what do you mean you got help from an enemy? And he says, well, I don't think that the enemy knew I was his enemy. Speaking of Baby Yoda, so he's referring to Baby Yoda as an enemy. Does that mean? And maybe you guys know. I mean, does that refer to just anyone who's an outsider, who's not a Mandalorian, who's not? Who's not a foundling? Anyone who is, the Mandalorians have been forced way underground. They're in hiding, and they keep themselves secret, away from the world. I guess that must mean that anybody, absolutely anybody else, is an enemy, and that's their code that they have to live by to survive. But he did refer to Baby Yoda as an enemy who didn't know that he was an enemy. So that was kind of an interesting moment. Refuses the signet, but instead gets a really cool weapon made. That will shoot multiple, tiny missile projectiles at once. He's told by the armorer that this is rare, and you should be careful, when you use this, because they're hard to make, and they're expensive, they're rare, but they're perfect for taking out multiple enemies. So Mandalorian goes in. He goes in after the child, and what do we see? I mean, he takes out all the stormtroopers Batman style. There's a nice shadowy sequence where he's hiding in the shadows. He uses all of his weapons. There's a nice variety to the way he kills, and he brutally kills these stormtroopers. Who are now just independent. I mean, these guys are warlords. These guys are, they've become bounty hunters. They've become mercenaries for hire. These stormtroopers, now that the Empire's fallen, he takes them all out, kicks all their asses, goes in and finds Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda is under this machinery that's reading his chest. He's unconscious, and there's that needle droid from A New Hope, the one that was going to be used to extract information from Princess Leia, and this thing was coming down on our little Baby Yoda. What in the world were they expecting to get from Yoda? Is this something that was going to make him talk? He's a baby. I didn't understand that. But of course the Mandalorian didn't like it. He beat the living crap out of everybody in the room, and he said, "What are you doing? What are you doing to him?" And the guy who was torturing Baby Yoda ostensibly said, "I kept him alive. They would have just killed him. Please, he's just a baby." Showing some affection for Baby Yoda. Even still, Mandalorian goes ahead and takes the baby. Now, the crib, the conveyance that the baby was in, Mandalorian found it outside in the garbage, just beat up, uncared for, just tossed in the garbage, which frightened him and heightened his sort of anger as he entered to fight these stormtroopers in the first place. There are all these signs, all of these things that made you care about this baby and worry about this baby. Seeing its crib turned upside down in a garbage pile, empty, was enough to kind of, if you saw that as a parent, you'd be a little bit upset. So anyway, now it's a shootout. Now he's got to get away. He's got to take this baby with him. Greef Karga shows up with a whole army of bounty hunters. And we've got, it's the OK Corral. Things are looking pretty bleak for Mando and the baby until, like the Bat family or like the Green Lantern Corps, about 12 Mandalorians come down from the sky with jetpacks, firing all manner of weapons, just, evening the odds for the Mandalorian. In fact, just, kicking their asses. Mandalorians have a saying. They say, "This is the way." Way is capitalized. This is the way. This is what we need to do. So that provides the Mandalorian with a chance to escape back to his ship with the infant, where he finds the Greef Karga was hiding within. He manages to shoot Greef Karga, puts up a smoke screen, shoots him, kicks him off the ship, and flies away. This is the last scene that you see. you see Baby Yoda kind of come down off of his seat. He no longer has his crib, and he reaches up. He wants, look, the knob was put back on the shifting gear here, and he wants it. He's reaching for it like a child would, and the Mandalorian unscrews it and gives it to him. And that's, then we fly away into the distance. So these two are now inseparable. This episode was called The Sin. This is the turning point now. Now, by the way, Grieve Karga was shot, but it turns out he's okay. He actually had a metal bar. He had some money protecting his heart. It had a little hole in it where the blast hit him, but he's okay. And now, Mandalorian Mando is going to be on the run. They're going to hunt this guy down, and they're going to have to. He's going to have to protect. It's just him and Baby Yoda versus the entire criminal underworld now. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see episode 4. I gave the other 2 episodes a 10 out of 10 and a 10 out of 10 again. I give this one an 8 out of 10. Still incredibly enjoyable, still a lot of fun, but I don't know. It didn't have it didn't have as many callbacks to old Star Wars that I really appreciated in the first 2 episodes. Aside from the stormtroopers and a few familiar faces from the cantina, obviously, getting to see the Mandalorian army was really, really neat. But I would have liked to see a few more touches from the original trilogy. Even still, wonderful entertainment, great Star Wars. I don't know if you like it. I really like it. You know who doesn't like it? Anita Sarkeesian doesn't like it. I mean, we're starting to hear from feminists now who are upset because they are noticing that there just really aren't as many female characters in The Mandalorian as maybe they would prefer. It's all about, to them, it's all about forcing female characters, shoehorning them into situations that they seem out of place. This is the kind of thing that I really don't want to see. I don't want to see too many weirdo female characters that just don't belong here. Now, there's still a chance, of course, that the Mandalorian is using some kind of voice modulator, and he's going to take off his helmet and it's going to be a woman underneath. There's still that chance. We really hope that doesn't happen, because right now this just feels normal. There are women. The armorer is female. We are seeing female characters in this show, but it's like the original Star Wars. They're few and far between. This is a man's world. What we're seeing happen in The Mandalorian, the world that we're exploring here, the dark, seedy underbelly of Star Wars, this just seems like a Clint Eastwood style man's world. And boy, I love it. And boy, do they hate it. And boy, do I love that they hate it. Am I extremely tired, or is there not a single female speaking character in the first episode of Mandalorian? I gotta have missed something, right? No, you didn't miss nothing. Get used to it too. I guess Jon Favreau was like, well, if we make all the vehicles female, like the ship, and then blah, 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 then we're good, right? That's just the right amount of female. Hey, Anita, it wasn't made for you. It was made for us. It was made for normal people. It was made for normal people that don't want to jam identity politics and agenda into every single thing. There's a resurgence now. There's a resurgence going on all around us. I mean, it's like all of these female-led weirdo movies like Terminator, flop. Charlie's Angels, flop. What succeeds? This is succeeding. What's succeeding? The Joker is succeeding. All of these movies, all of these things that people like you are against, people like you come down on and want to complain about, whine and bitch and moan, those things are succeeding. The things that just feel natural and don't have any sort of political identity. Now, I expect to see female characters in The Mandalorian. I think they're going to be coming up pretty soon, and that's great. But hopefully they're going to feel as natural and as layered into this show as they would be in real life. And I'll just keep my fingers crossed. Great show. Great show. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And subscribe, like. Make sure you're still subscribed. We're beating the algorithm. YouTube is kind of turning us around again. It took a little while. YouTube was beating down this channel. But yeah, we're starting to move again. And thank you guys for sharing the videos. Thank you guys for hitting like on the videos. Just take a minute to do that. It really does make my life much, much better if you do that. And it makes the channel grow. So thanks again. I'll be back later with another video. Have a great day. And make sure to watch Mandalorian Episode 3. Please don't forget. You'll thoroughly, thoroughly enjoy it. Okay, bye. Hey, I got a P.O. box. Want to send me some mail? Send it to Ethan Van Sciver, P.O. Box 607, Marlton, New Jersey, 08053. And I'll probably open it up on the live stream. Thanks very much, everyone. Hey, you want to follow me on Twitter? Are you sure? Well, if so, I'm at Ethan Van Sciver. That's at Ethan Van Sciver. See you there. If you enjoyed this video and want to become part of this community, subscribe to this channel by clicking the Laughing Man face logo right on your screen. Ring the bell for notifications as well. You'll never miss a live chat. And stay tuned, another video by Comic Artist Pro Secrets is coming right up.